there's a few areas in my life where I feel fear. And for instance, I love doing things that can be a little risky. Some yoga postures, gymnastics, backflips, front flips, these things that are very exhilarating to me that feel good. And there's always that little what if I want to keep myself safe? Are there specific ways to get into alignment with just safety other than just thinking safe thoughts that can help me overcome the fears of getting hurt?
Well, there are some things that you can do as you get apparatuses or nets or things that make you feel that no matter what, you'll be all right. But even with all of that, we would encourage you, when you come up against a possible action and you feel some trepidation or fear about it, put the action off and take it to your workshop and work through it mentally until the fear does not exist.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And then move forward in the fearless action. We would not. There are people who say, well, I pushed through my fear. Or if you do something that you fear long enough in time, you'll stop fearing it. And we say, well, most of what you fear is not right on your doorstep. But we never encourage you to disregard your emotional guidance that is telling you that you're pointed upstream. And that's what fear is telling you every time. You're pointed in opposition of what you want. And if you move forward, you're moving forward at a handicap because you are focused in the wrong direction. It would be paramount to getting out there, getting ready to do something gymnastically and not being focused. You know the power of focus and what it brings to you.
Right. I mean, there's a funny place where you're a little nervous and excited, and that's not the sensation of fear.
Well, you want to learn to differentiate between the call of source and the opposite of it. In other words, excitement is one feeling and fear and trepidation is another. And as you don't move forward in the action until you have envisioned the outcome that you want, and that feeling of fear subsides. Sometimes you can do it right while you're standing there getting ready to mount whatever you're mounting. In other words, you can do it in the moment, in time. We're not saying you have to go home. You have to stop everything, stop the clock, stop everything. I have to go off and take care of this. But as a general rule, we would not take action when fear is present.
Okay. So to feedback, what I'm hearing is, I want to do anything, and I feel the sensation of fear. Don't do it either right there. Think about it. See it in my mind's eye as being totally capable of doing it and getting the feeling inside right.
Well said.
And then
say to yourself, I'm about to embark upon an action journey, and the fear indicates that my energy isn't in the right place for this action journey. So I'm going to step aside from the action journey for a moment and see if I can clean up the emotional journey. And as soon as I clean up the emotional journey and the fear subsides, then I'll step back into my action journey and I'll get the results from it I want.
Okay.
Jerry's favorite story. He's getting on a horse on a movie shoot. The horse is frisky and balking. And so Jerry says to the wrangler, I think I need a different horse. This one's going to be too much interruption. And the wrangler gives him another horse, but mocks him and says, you're just afraid of that horse. And Jerry said, I'm not afraid of it, which wasn't true. In other words, he had healthy fear. He felt uneasy. And so the wrangler said, you're just afraid of that horse. I can ride this horse. And the wrangler jumped up on the horse. The horse reared its head back and knocked all of his teeth out. And we said, that's what overcoming fear will get you. In other words, he didn't overcome his fear. He disregarded his fear. He had come to the place where he was controlling rather than paying attention. In other words, Jerry could sense the attitude of that horse and its lack of cooperation in that moment, and stepped apart from the action, and it served him very well.
So that's fear being avoided. Can people also avoid consciously diseases and cancers and wellness just by being
Well, let us say this another way. We don't want you to avoid fear. We want you to have a healthy respect for it. We want you to understand that we don't want you to ever say, I will one day be fearless. Because that's like saying, I will one day have no sensing in my fingers, and even when I lay on the hot stove, it won't bother me. I can see it's hot. I can see it's hot. I can smell the smoke. And yet, I do not feel it. So we want you to have a healthy regard for fear. And we don't want you to ever say, I want to be completely away from it.
Sure.
Instead, we want you to say, fear is my indication of my energy alignment. And I want to be sure before I move forward in action that my energy alignment is what I mean for it to be. That's the difference between inspiration. Inspiration is always action inspired from alignment. Motivation is often moving forward even though I've got my vibration split. But I'm moving forward anyway because I feel I have no choice. So a good rule of thumb is day to day to day, just do as much as you have to do or need to do, but let it be more about the emotional journey than the action journey. And in time, we won't be talking about the difference because they will be one for you.